What's up, man? It's Immortal Technique, hardknocktv. That's what you watching. Win a shirt or some shit or get whatever the fuck you want to get. I don't know what these niggas is giving away. I'm not responsible for you getting the wrong size shirt. I'm not responsible for all the fuckery that these niggas put you through to get your shirt. And since these niggas show me love, I'm showing them love.
Yep.
That's all it is, nigga.
The both techs right here.
Technique, Tech 9, it is what it is, baby. You know what it is.
Love.
I get brown, I don't get red in the sun, man. I don't turn into a lobster. My skin don't start peeling off. God bless me. See, the Mormons believe that God cursed people with brown skin, and that's a lie. I'm sorry, I don't believe that Joseph Smith is a prophet either, but if you do follow God and you live your life well, I don't care what you believe in.
Do you remember the artist or song that made you want to run?
Artist or song? I don't think it was one artist or one song. I grew up in New York where I heard hip hop on a daily basis, you know? I can't imagine what the first one I ever heard was, but it was just so much influx of music at the time, and I think they had such a wide variety of music. It wasn't just like it was one or the other, you know? It was real like hardcore hip hop, but then you had something that was so much more soulful, like maybe a Tribe Called Quest or something like that. But it wasn't like we wasn't wilding out to whoever's song, you know what I mean? It wasn't like we wouldn't rob you if we were playing Tribe Called Quest, or you know what I mean? Or we would wild out. I think the difference was to me that when I saw hip hop in that manner, in that fashion, and I got a chance to witness it in its rawest form before it had been completely commercialized, you know what I mean? It's like getting the New York experience from 1992 versus the New York experience from 2012 and 2014.
When did you take an interest from I'm a fan to I want to be a participant?
I mean, I guess I could always rhyme ever since I was about 9 years old. I mean, I had the ability to freestyle. They used to just spin break beats on the radio, so I would just try to rap along and make up my own little rhymes and write my own little songs and shit like that. So I think for me, it grew out of that desire. But I always wanted to talk about what I seen in the neighborhood, about crooked cops robbing drug dealers and stuff like that. So I figured in other forms of music, that was kind of looked down upon, you know, really questioning the art form. You couldn't find that in pop music, you know what I mean? That's why something like Fuck the Police was so riveting, because it was finally someone standing up being able to say, hey man, the people that you think are the moral leaders of society are really just as corrupt as everybody else. And I think that even though that's not like a revelation to most people, to some people it is. You know, for example, there was a big community of people that didn't understand that the police was violent and abused you until they saw the Rodney King tape. They thought, oh man, cops supposed to help you and stop you. But yet you never experienced it from our perspective, you know what I mean? From the people of color that have had to live through it. And no, I've never picked cotton in my life. No, I've never lived on a plantation, but I did go to prison, so I do understand what slavery is. You know, and I remind the young people from the prison programs that I do that that's not a rite of passage, that doesn't make you a man, that makes you a slave. So in order for me to get my message across and to be as, you know, honest as I can, I found that the independent place and the independent route was the only way to really do it, to have absolute control. So that's why I became the prognosticator, you know what I mean? The individual that will come out and support independent music over anything else, and that's why, you know, I love to be at things like that. So, you know, in terms of hip hop music, I think when I finally realized that I wanted to do this independently was maybe when I got out of prison, and at that point I realized that, you know, a record deal was just a loan with horrible interest rates when you don't get to keep the property, and understanding that business made me want to participate in it, but not as a blind participant, not as like the whore of some company, but to actually have the ability to vocalize, you know, things that people may not be talking about so much themselves, but are still really pertinent in the society we live in.
They say you fight the greatest jihad in your heart and your mind, and fight the hardest when you start from behind. So I dream the impossible all the time. Fuck a Masonic design, America's future is mine. Repeat that to yourself, cause if culture's a crime, them numbers tatted on your arm aren't too far behind. They can only conquer you after they murder your mind. So rise up, motherfucker, like the sign of the times. I feel my body weakening, but my spirit is fine. Ready to go to war with devils at the drop of a dime, and fight with my rebel army until the stars are aligned.
Speaking of things that people aren't talking about, last week Obama signed in a passage for this company, Monsanto.
Yes, that's a disgrace.
Can you talk about
It should be a human rights abuse. They should be banned. They really want to control the food industry in general. And I think what's disgusting about them is that, listen, we know Monsanto's and their parent companies are giving the Obama administration money. You know what I mean? And just so people understand, I understand and I know the type of commitment that certain individuals have to the Obama administration. They think that under a Republican administration, they would have never gotten any acknowledgement on gay rights, right? I know that there are people that are 40, 50, 60, 70, and they black, and they grew up in a completely different America. They couldn't even picture a black president. You know what I mean? And for white people that don't understand that, imagine if you went out with a black person and somebody spit on you for doing that because they hate interracial relationships. You don't have to experience that no more. We live in a slightly different America in a lot of places. But I know that people support him because he symbolizes that for them, but I remind people that the only reason he signed that Monsanto shit is not out of the kindness of his heart, but because they lobbied him and gave him money, meaning that the American Caesar is for sale. And that takes away from the credibility of this country, and that's damaging to America.
Now, to people who want to fight something like that, what do you encourage them to do? I mean, I know a lot of people kind of saw that fly under the radar last week, and they're like, well, he signed it into power, you know, what can we do? Is it just an awareness thing? Is it
I mean, I think it is awareness. I think also we need to be able to we need to be able to realize that out of everybody that gets up and makes a statement, you know, no, people might not listen. They might not care, but that shouldn't deter you from trying to reach the people that do care and that are willing to share their voice. You know what I mean? Whether it's a petition, whether it's you boycotting their products, start doing that. You know, speak with your wallet, not just with your mind. You know, don't just burn down some random store that's near you because you're angry. That's not how you get to them. That justifies their budget. That justifies them being violent with you. So, that's all it is.
Niggas underground in the Confederate States, ironically running from slavery that prison creates. So I never hate on the South, I respect their vision. I just hate on niggas that promote symbolism and white execs that love to see us in that position. They reflect the stereotypes of America's vision. They want us dancing, cooning and hollering. Only respect us for playing sports and modeling. More than racism, it's stay in your places. More people are trapped in practical black facism. So fuck a civil war between the North and the South. It's between field niggas and slaves that are stuck in the house.
last time we interviewed was a Rock the Bells here. Tell us a little bit about what you've been doing since then.
I went and I decided, I can't reveal it yet because it's a really big step, but I decided the next stage and the next step that we're gonna take with the Green Light Project. Originally we had done the orphanage in Afghanistan. We built some homes for people in Haiti, and now I'm working on the final stages of trying to put together the first step of this new proposal. So I've really been focused on that, on the Middle Passage, on the Revolution of Immortal Technique, the DVD, which is available on Viper Records, featuring Ice-T, KRS-One, Chuck D, Woody Harrelson, Cornel West. You know, it not only details like my rise and insinuation into hip hop, but also not just the independent scene, but really talks to a well-rounded group of people that are just coming up right now, how they can, you know, kind of miss some of the pitfalls that I had to deal with. So.
Is there anything more you can tell us about you said the Green Light Project? Is it going to be international? Yeah. Is it going to be U.S. based?
There's a national component and there's an international component. Okay. So we're looking at doing as much as we possibly can.
And if people want to know more, find out how they can get involved,
they can contact me, viperrecords.com, Twitter @Immortal Tech, Instagram, Tech Immortal, Facebook, Tech Immortal. However you can get in touch with me, reach out to me. I'm very interactive. You know, I don't have this kind of Louis XVI relationship with fans and stuff. Listen, even if you don't like my music, you know, it doesn't matter to me. You know, people hit me up, hey, I hate your music. Well, you listen to it, so I already got you. I don't need your vote anymore, motherfucker. Thank you. Keep telling everybody how much you hate it. You don't realize it, but you working for me, nigga. You know what I mean? The one thing I won't tolerate is threats toward me or my family, because I don't know whether that's real or not. So we will come see you for that. But anything else, come on, you gotta be a good sport. You can't be so sensitive that you know, explode in anger at like the slightest criticism of your music. You have to learn to take it with a grain of salt and grow from that criticism, and to learn when to take it seriously and when to realize that it's a steaming pile of horseshit.
I can definitely tell by your Twitter interactions that
I totally don't give a fuck. I mean, I show love to people everywhere, man. I show love to get love, and when I get love, I show love.
Now, I feel like every time I interview, I ask you, middle passage, it's coming.
It's coming. I know it's detox status now. Niggas keep telling me that, but it's coming. Trust me.